Hi everybody, my name is Anna and I am a FM TESI Blast Sleep Consume Play, and I'm here to tell you about my lovely double feminine, double activated SF sleep, which is like my world, and everything else is in the back burner. I literally care about nothing else. um, it just consumes me and my life and everything I do, from what I wear to how my home looks to how I present in the workplace. Everything is just always SF consume. SF sleep. It just things that matter to me in the physical world, um, and it impacts me through and through. So, generally speaking, being FM, I definitely lean towards a more masculine presenting image in like a feminine way. So like a Lara Croft figure is a really good example of the style that I typically aim for. You know, sharp black eyeliner, like ripped black jeans, leather jacket, that sort of vibe. And it's the comfort zone for me. So anytime I shop, I'm open to trying the frilly pink dress, but I can never pull it off, and I'm not fooling anybody. It's just not going to work out. Like, I'm trying. I can try it, but it will never look. I look like a clown. I do not fit into that. Similarly, with hair color, I experiment all the time. Months ago, I had bright pink, hot pink hair. You know, before that, I was a blonde, etc. But I will say that being blonde has a certain delicate vibe to it that makes me feel not myself, the same way that frilly clothes feel double feminine to me. So I definitely feel not myself. But what I wear definitely is affected by how I'm feeling. So if I'm sick, then it's always like these grungy, grayish, bluish, greenish snot color things, and it has to, it definitely shows the way that I'm feeling. Whereas when I'm more lively and awake and just feeling more natural, then I'll bust out the curly hair. I talked about that a little bit, that I have naturally very, very curly hair that I like to call a Jufro. And I definitely notice people take me more seriously when I have straight hair, when I'm more clean cut. So I've always been hesitant to wear my curly hair, because to me it immediately is a sign of this person won't take me seriously. So I could never do this video with curly hair, regardless of how you all feel about that. It's just internal projection that has been recurring throughout my life. And every time I do try it, I have to be in a very self-confident mood to be like, all right, this is what I'm rocking today. If you want it, then I'm confident in myself that day. Of course, my home also is really important. I can't, since sleep is my second human need, I definitely spend a lot of time at home. I'm a homebody. I like to make a good looking home. It's if my home looks good, then I feel good. It's a representation of my feelings, and so it's great that my husband and I have a similar aesthetic. We both like cool vibes, navy blues. There's my navy blue wall in the bedroom. Dark wooden floors. We are into minimalism, brutalism. We love sharp angles. We love for the place, to not have many carpets or curtains, or like too heavy on textiles, too many knickknacks or books or anything laying around. We just like a very clean cut. I'm sure you guys have seen the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. a really perfect quote for how I feel and how I grew up is from his friend. I forget his name, but he'd say, "My house is like a museum. It's very cold and very beautiful, and you can't touch anything." And that's always been like my go-to. That is the vibe that I always want to reach the point where I can have beautiful furniture that, shouldn't be touched. And that's the ideal version of that. Which is not an image that a lot of people relate to for their home or would want for their home. They want it to be homey and cozy, and I know that. But it's how I grew up, and I remember my friends coming over to my parents' house, which was very much like that, and they felt quite intimidated by that. So it's definitely a thing. But it's also SI, right? That I have. So things do have order. Things do need a place. So, if I can't stand the feeling of having bought something and you coming home and realizing like it does not have a place. Where do I put it away? Like if it's a throw, where does it go? If it's I don't know, some kind of vase, like things need a purpose. That's the other part of this that I haven't mentioned. Things, if I buy them, need a purpose. Knickknacks do nothing for me. Owning things just to have them feels very strange. They need to be utilitarian to a degree, right? If it's an aesthetic purpose, that's fine, but it has to be the aesthetic piece. Like it needs to be within a frame. Like you have designed it for your space, not just because you individually like an item. So I am the kind of person who has lists, shopping lists. I don't really do Pinterest, but I understand the point of it. I think Pinterest gives me too much like gather vibes. It can be so endless, and that really frustrates me. So I kind of make my own canvas boards in like Figma or something. But I definitely have lists of things I like and wait for the right moment to buy them. But I am practical. I do have a 3-year-old, so not everything can be perfectly designed for your home with a 3-year-old in mind. So just at this rate, I'm in survival mode, in which you just kind of hope for the best and hope that your house is somewhat together. Even with random pink things all over the place, and balloons and unicorns and all this stuff. But I do like to decant things. There's definitely an order to my morning. If I'm have my morning routine and have like my moisturizer, my serum, and this and this and this and this, and they're all standing and lying in front of my mirror, so I can just do them one by one. I don't really enjoy the process, but I know that I can have them done one by one by one by one. So there's a structure there. I'm the kind of person who decants everything, so I can't stand bottles like vitamin bottles. They're so ugly. They don't match my aesthetic. I need to decant them into a beautiful amber jar. All my shampoos, all these like bottles, with the like marketing branding all over them. Thank God that's changing slowly. If you ever walk into buy shampoos these days, they're getting better about like, okay, this is a bottle that's gonna sit on someone's bathroom counter. It's better look good. So thank God for that. And a bit random, but as far as work goes or digesting content, I've heard this from other SI folks. SI sleep, sensory, is in order to digest content, if someone sends me a document, a Word doc, a Google doc, whatever, I need to format the document to fit my needs before I can digest the content. So I can't read in Times New Roman. It just drives me absolutely bonkers. The font choice is essential for me to be able to, it's just too distracting. Like the spacing, the kerning, all of that is way too important. I need to first convert it properly, and then I can get to reading it. Like, at least give me Open Sans or some kind of other font that's a little bit more digestible. I mean, it's 2023, come on. This ain't, MS Word like 6 or whatever. So design is very, very, very important. If I'm taking notes or digesting content, I need to bullet point it as I read it. So like, okay, I've processed this, I've checked this off, check this off, check this off. That's the best case scenario. And if I'm reading a physical document, I like to underline or highlight as I go to track. My brain is able to track, like, you've read this, you've understood this, you've went over this. And of course, I can reference it easily later. So that sort of thing is really important to me. With physical items, I also do sleep on things. Like, I will consume occasionally, but if I have found the ultimate item in one category, I will stick to that brand or that item until it's proven to be faulty in some way. Like, of course, a recurring theme for me is my hair. I have a lot of it. It takes a long time to take care of it, so I will invest heavily into hair. And one of those items is, of course, a Dyson blow dryer. For those who don't know, it's the Dyson brand blow dryer. If you don't know, it retails for over $500. I did get a used one because that's insane. Like, even if I wanted to spend $500, I just wouldn't want to. So I did find one used, and but it's incredible. It really does do the job very, very, very well. And I just know now that there is absolutely no other item I would ever use for that sort of task, because my hair is heavy, my hair is thick, and it's the only hair dryer that literally moves my hair fully. Other simpler hair dryers just do not have that kind of force, and it's very apparent. But anyway, so I will like double down on physical items that serve a purpose and do a very good job at the thing they're supposed to do. And then maybe experiment with that category when that item completely dies on me. But I will not, consume anything new for a long time. Or like a good frying pan, like, it just works, it does its job, it's perfect, right? So of course I am ST Blast, so if you don't need any tools from me, I will give you the full list of perfect tools that I would die on. They are just great. But I'm not very sentimental with physical things. I can let them go, mostly. It's not critical for me. Yeah, as I had mentioned. And photos are really important in my life. I am a chronic photographer that takes, way too many photos for every moment of my life. But the difference is that I do not just gather that physical external stimuli, but I also organize it really, really repetitively. And if I'm stressed, the easiest thing I can do is get into my Google photo albums and start categorizing my photos, and that makes me calm. So I can't stand it if I have 10 images of the same moment. You know what I'm talking about. You go and, see a sunset, you take 10 pictures of it. I gotta only have one if it's truly a moment that I care to even keep, because I often think of this, like, unless it's truly an extraordinary quality photograph, which it rarely is in the case of like an iPhone photo, then I'm not going to keep it. So I'm very refining and critical of my photos. You know, same with any event, like 10 pictures of my daughter, I'm gonna pick one if it's from the same event, unless there's something exceptional about some other reason to have more than one photo. So I'm always refining. As much photos as I have, I'm still refining on all of them. I'm not just gathering. So yeah, it's a crazy SF world, and I thought I'd share a little bit with you. Enjoy.